first the action from Murrayfield as the league's other two new boys went face mask to face mask. The Claymores, looking to put recent troubles behind them, were met by marching bands, pipers and cheerleaders, and under cloudy skies it was the Rhine Fire who mounted the first drive. But it stalled when this Gino Toretta pass was intercepted by safety George Coghill. It set the pattern for the first quarter as the Claymores marched downfield, but their first attempt at points at 25-yard field goal was foiled by a poor snap. Still, the mistakes continued. Annan Young recovering this fumble on the Rhine's next drive, only to see Fire's Vaughan Bryant come up with an interception minutes later. But that turnover was converted into points when Jay Hillman went over for a 1-yard touchdown late in the first quarter. So the Rhine Fire leading 7-0 as we join the action early in the second period. Following a poor punt, the Claymores have a 1st and 10 on the Fire's 26-yard line. Your commentators are the Jets' setting Mike Carlson and first Nick Halling.
There's a change at quarterback for the Scottish Claymores. The Kansas City Chief, Matt Blunden, comes in as expected. For a set, he hands off the ball to his running back, the fullback Lorenzo Graham, who runs into Mac Travis after a couple of yards.
Not much in the middle. Again, the pursuit from the Rhine defense. They're controlling the middle of that line right now. Blunden's a guy I really like a lot. He reminds me a bit of Scott. He doesn't have the cannon arm that Scott Mitchell had, but Mitchell, the big success story of the second year of the World League. Blunden's in that same kind of position now.
He's been a bench warmer at Kansas City. Tough to play when a certain Joe Montana is in the starting lineup. 2nd down and 9. Blunden getting pressure. Gets his man. He's got his receiver.
And you see how he can drill that ball in on the short patterns. He's got a real strong arm, a real accurate one, and he hit Barnett right in the chest, even though Barnett was closely defended.
Don Stowers, the free safety, was there. But Tim Barnett just ran a good pattern.
Yeah, Barnett's real sharp on the slant here. And you see Blunden, perfect timing, right in front of him, nothing the defender could do.
I'll tell you, while we're watching this replay, Mike, Carl Dunbar is being led back to the Rhine Fire sideline, and he is the impact player on the Rhine Fire defense, and he's out of there with some kind of injury. We'll see if we can get a report on that later on.
And it looks like Junior Tagoai would have to replace him in that defensive line.
1st and goal from the 6. Blunden delayed and went down. Arthur Bussey struts his stuff, and why not? He's pushed the ball back another 4 or 5 yards, and the crowd went silent once again.
And here's the sort of thing that this is why a quarterback needs the experience. He looks for his first receiver. Now he's looking for the second and doesn't even realize that there's pressure on him. He didn't see the man down on the ground. Of course, Blunden, 6'6", he's way up there. It's a long look down.
2nd and goal from about the 12-yard line. The Scottish Claymores trailing the Rhine Fire. Flags come in. That'll be encroachment, defensive encroachment. The ball broken up by Greg Lane, but flags came down, and I think the Claymores managed to draw the Rhine Fire defensive front into an offside.
The Rhine guys are saying they were pulled offside. There was a little fake on the snap there, but it could be Blunden just doing the draw.
The call goes against the Rhine Fire.
Good job by Blunden on the count. Taking the snap count, drawing the Rhine defensive line offside.
Offside.
And you learn those kind of things
defense,
when you watch Joe Montana.
5 yards, replay 2nd down.
Galen Hall not very happy about that.
So the Claymores get a break, but overall, I think the line play on both sides has been pretty well disciplined, but not on this occasion.
Now watch his head. Real hard one there. You saw how he drew them offside with a really hard snap of his head.
2nd down and goal from around the 7. Motion coming in from Saran Stacey. Blunden looking, getting pressure. Flag goes down, and a Claymore went flying after the hit from Grey Lane, Alan de Graffenried, and a flag went down. So we'll have to wait and see what that call is.
And one of the things on that play, Blunden got hit real hard in the chest, drove him backwards about 6 yards. He still got a bullet off. That guy has a strong arm.
Blunden certainly looks fine.
We have a false start prior to the snap. On the left tackle, no play, 2nd down.
So all that hitting, and we're going to see it all over again.
So a false start against the Claymores. The left tackle is Hesham Ismail, who's of Egyptian parents. One of the very few players of Egyptian extraction.
And Scotland rejigged their offensive line this morning to get Ismail and Rhien on the left side to protect that blind side that the quarterback has.
So the ball bouncing around in there on penalties. It's back out to the 11 now. Blunden fires to the right, gets Stacey. There's another flag goes down in the area of a late hit. The ball was bobbled loose. Rhien came in and delivered a hit on Matt Blunden.
That's that same play again where they send the Grafenried down and put Stacey in the flat underneath him. Stacey was wide open as he came out of the backfield.
A flag for the third consecutive play.
Well, a personal foul, roughing the passer, 79 defense, first down.
Joe Sumalo. One of the backup defensive ends came in late on Blunden, and the flag went down straight away. So the chain's carrying on moving, but we've managed to avoid penalties so far, but they're coming thick and fast now, those yellow flags.
They will get a good shot of it right down low.
Oh, that's late.
If you're the NFL team that's given Blunden to the Claymores, your heart's in your throat right there, because 6'6" guy, the knees are really vulnerable.
What I like about Blunden is the way he went up to him and said, "Are you okay?" Tough guy, Matt Blunden. First and goal from just outside the 5. The pitch back to Stacey. Lorenzo Gray with a great block, but Stacey can't get anywhere. Stays on his feet, but loses yardage.
And you know, you saw Chandler lining up on the close shot just before the play started, and Chandler misses his block coming down from the tight end spot. And that's what, now here you'll see it on the replay. Chandler, see, he misses the block on the defensive end. The lineman has to come out and kick the defensive end out. That leaves him one man short, and Stacey gets that one man right in his face.
So a loss of a couple of yards on the run from Siran Stacey. This Rhine fire defense looking pretty tough at the moment. De Grafenried is wide left. Blunden looks wide right and overthrows his receiver, Tim Barnett. Pretty good coverage from the strong safety, Matt Gay, number 40.
And Blunden doesn't like Sumalo stepping on him after that play, and he told him that. Now watch what happens. Sumalo getting right in his face as he knocks Blunden down. I mean, he doesn't really knock, that's nothing to really write home about, but Sumalo now is going to make a little impression with the bottom of his shoe.
I tell you, Joe Sumalo is going to be a marked man if he goes after the Claymores quarterback. The pitch back and a lot of yards to go for Siran Stacey, and he can't go anywhere. Matt Gay, again, read it very well. 2 big defensive plays in a row from Matt Gay.
And the Fire is going to be happy here to get out of this with just a field goal attempt. They've done a really good job, helped by the penalty, pushing them back, but they got a little bit disorganized, it seemed, the Claymores. And you noticed on one of the plays, the Grafenried really rushing to the line of scrimmage because they had to get the play off because they'd gone down on the time clock again. 10 to go on the clock right now, so they've got to get this kickoff pretty quickly.
Matt Blunden will hold. Arden Krzyzewski will try a 29-yarder. And that sails through the uprights to give the Scottish Claymores the first points in their history.
So the Claymores finally on the board. However, with the rain continuing to fall, the errors increased. And on the Claymores' next drive, Mickles coughed up the football with the Fire's Terry Crews recovering the fumble. But the second subsequent Rhine drive was halted firstly when quarterback Gina Torretta was forced from the drive when hit by George Coghill. And then Doug Newsmeyer came on only to throw this interception tipped by Claymores DB James Williams into the hands of fellow cornerback Darrell Lewis. That gave Scotland great field position, and that's where we rejoined the action.
So the ball on the 24-yard line of the Rhine Fire. First down, Matt Blunden looking to put the Claymores on top. Blunden, little swing pass gets around Stacey, and Stacey does well to avoid a tackle and eventually gets pushed out of bounds close to the line of scrimmage. Leroy Smith was the man that pushed him out of bounds. That could have been a big loss, but Stacey made it respectable.
Stacey did a really good job there because that play wasn't fooling Rhine at all. He managed to dodge the first tackle, kept his balance, got back to the line of scrimmage. And there you see Blunden again sets up the screen really nicely, but Stacey's out there, but Rhine's looking for it now. And you get really good penetration from Terry Crews, the right side linebacker.
Second down and 10. Stacey got back to the original line of scrimmage. Blunden with a lot of time. Looked for a receiver. That was a dangerously thrown ball in the direction.
Barnett over the middle.
Greg Lane was there on coverage.
Barnett over the middle. Stacey again coming straight out of the backfield, and that one had a little bit of space.
So we're at the 2-minute warning. It's the Rhine Fire leading the Scottish Claymores by a score of 7-3. Big play this. Third down and 10. Motion from Stacey. Blunden looking right and fires right as well. He's got his man. It's a first down. It's close to a touchdown. Jeff Parker, Andreas Motzkus, I think the German, came in on the tackle, but Tim Barnett picked up a huge first down.
Not a bad call from Doug Williams. See Barnett on the slant. There he is in the middle. Right, comes over. Just same pattern he ran just before. Barnett sure hands in the center of the field. First and goal again.
First and goal from the 5. Motion once again, Stacey. Blunden dropping back. Has time, finds a man deep in the end zone. Touchdown Scotland, it's Tim Barnett. He beat the coverage on Vaughan Bryant that time, and a well-thrown ball.
Listen to that crowd roar.
So the interception from Darrell Lewis was indeed important. It's brought the Rhine Fire their first ever touchdown. A 5-yard pass from Matt Blunden to Tim Barnett. Arden Krzyzewski will attempt the point after. That's good. So inside 2 minutes in the first half, the Claymores break out on top for the first time in the game. They lead it 10-7.
And you could see Barnett on that play open almost from the moment he left the line of scrimmage. They were giving him the outside because they thought he was going to come back over the middle again. He ran a little flag pattern away to the flag in the corner of the end zone and opened the whole way. Blunden saw him, I think, the whole way as well. Here we'll get a look. You'll see how open he is as he comes off right into that corner. No one near him. Easy touchdown.
Nice touch on the ball as well. Greg Lane, the man beaten, all ends up on the coverage.
And Matt Blunden a little bit happy about that one. Knew it all the way.
That completed the scoring of the first half as the Rhine Fire ran out the remaining time, leaving the half-time score. Scottish Claymores 10, Rhine Fire 7. We'll be back with the second half action after the break. Welcome back. So the Scottish Claymores ahead by 3 at the half. We join the second half. The Claymores have a first and 10 at their own 37-yard line.
Scott Cooper there on the right of your screen is one of the 3 national players that's playing today for the Scottish Claymores. Cooper, a star wide receiver with the Glasgow Lions for many years. Ben Torriero's in there as a running back. Andy Meikle is the other wide receiver, but Cooper probably the pick of the bunch, and they absolutely love this fella. Great attitude, safe hands as well. Be good to see him make a catch.
Runs tremendous patterns. He doesn't have the physical skills of some of the other receivers, but he runs really sharp patterns. The quarterbacks like that.
And he's to the top of your screen. Williamson rolling out the other way, fires, and that's incomplete.
And the ball's obviously giving them some problems here because Williamson just couldn't get a grip on that, and it squirted out of his hands.
But Scott Cooper staying in the game at the moment, but that, as you say, Mike, the ball difficult to throw now. And this really is a passing league. They've worked the rules to favour the passing situations, but when it rains like this, you really do need safe pairs of hands. Second down and 10 for the Scottish Claymores. Cooper now lines up wide left. Williamson looks for Cooper and goes for him, and Cooper with those safe hands, and a big cheer goes up, and he goes down, picks up 6 yards. Greg Lane on him. What a moment for Scott Cooper.
Scott Cooper, his first catch in the World League.
And you think these Scottish fans don't want to see Scottish players? What a reaction, what a reception.
And Cooper runs a nice route here. It's just a simple pattern. Watch how cleanly he runs it. And good hands, safe hands, protects the ball. Gets taken down by his shoulder pads.
Well done, Scott Cooper. 3rd down and 4. Williamson swings out to Saran Stacey, who's got some work to do and can't really get anywhere. Tried to cut back against the grain. Looked like Arthur Bussey basically met him. Klaus Biedermann, number 58, the German player for the Rhine Fire, was in on that tackle as well. So that will bring up a 4th down and around 4 or 5. So, first of all, we see Scott Cooper, then Klaus Biedermann's in there.
And it looks like Biedermann's hurt as well. As he comes up, looks like he banged his hand or his wrist making that tackle. But it's good to see the national players contributing. We've heard a lot of that in the camps for the last week about how good these guys actually are.
Arden Krzyzewski looks like he's okay. The end over end punt. And everyone a little bit frightened of that ball. Nobody really wanted that. Now it's 1st down for the Fire. And straight away they go to Rod Moore, who was wrapped up by James Williams after about 5 or 6 yards. It's still 10-7. This one all to play for.
And you expect this sort of offense from the Fire. Galen Hall's team's always short pass control, nibble away at you. Barcelona, on the other hand, you expect a little more excitement. Sorry, Scotland, on the other hand, those blue jerseys are really giving me a problem. You expect a little more variety, and we're not getting it.
2nd down and around 3, long 3. And they give the handoff and getting close to 1st down yardage. Jocelyn Borgella came up and pushed the man out of bounds.
A really good job by Brandon, the defensive end on the left side, who held his ground, came in and forced the play wide. Didn't actually make the tackle, but he forced him outside for no gain.
Sean be right fair, in fact, getting back to the original line of scrimmage.
Now watch Brandon on the left side of your screen. Fights off the tackle there. He's just controlling him. And right there, he gets the runner to go outside. That means the cornerback can come up and take a shot at him.
3rd down and 3, Forrest Irving back in there on a 5th defensive back. Quick pass, and he's got away from his man. Tyrone Johnson brought down by Forrest Irving, but a 1st down. Quick little swing pass there from Torretta to his number 1 receiver, Tyrone Johnson, a former boxer. I think he won the Junior Olympics in about 1987. Tough guy.
Golden Gloves champion as well. There you see Borgella on him. Borgella comes up, arm on the thigh, and you're not going to bring him down that way, but Irvin's over really fast.
So Tyrone Johnson, number 83, making a contribution there. The ball moved to the 46-yard line of the Rhine Fire. 1st down. Clock continuing to run here in the 3rd quarter. Up the middle. Gang tackle. Brian Jones was in there. Yes, it was Seanby Wright Fair, number 32.
Brian Jones, middle linebacker, reading that play. He's still keying on Wright Fair. You noticed that earlier in the 1st half.
A couple of yards there for Wright Fair, but so far in the 2nd half, he's been less of a factor than he was in the 1st. Brian Jones keys the defense from his middle linebacker position. Ricky Andrews is out of there. Corus Irving is in. The fake, the pass, the completion. That's a smart play, smart heads-up play. Corus Irving pushing Jay Hilbert, or rather Tony Lensane, the tight end, out of bounds. I think that's his first catch of the afternoon.
And they came with a 5-man rush that time, a 5-man line from Scotland. It was picked up really nicely, and Torretta looking for the secondary receiver, the tight end, coming across the middle. Now the tight end's on the right side of your screen and cutting across the middle. Look at the protection he gets, and he's wide open.
So 1st down at the 36 of the Scottish Claymores. Another fake from Torretta. Pressure coming on the outside, but Torretta gets out of it and gets out of bounds. And he may have lost a yard, and a couple of big blocks there.
See, now it's really hard to get around Michael Brandon, but Torretta gets it, but there's nowhere to go. And right there, from behind,
Simon just nailed Bill Durkin, I think it was. The left guard came up and just lowered the boom.
Seems to be okay. It looks like the hair, well, half of it went away. Lost half his hair in that collision. Jose Simon, 330 pounds of Scottish beef.
2nd down and 12, a loss on the play there. Lensane, I think that is going in motion. Harrington interpreting pressure coming straight up the middle, but Torretta manages to get the ball from right there. Tackle coming in.
job by Gino Toretta unloading that ball with the defender in his face, and then they got Wright Fair out there one-on-one, not going to stop him. Now watch, the man's coming, the linebacker's coming in, that's Andrews, and gets Toretta just after he unloads the ball, but Toretta knowing that Wright Fair's going to be open out there in the flat, and now he's got a little space, which he hasn't had a lot of that today.
George Coghill comes over to save the touchdown, but the Rhine Fire are knocking on the door. 2:39 left, third quarter. Right there once again, plowing his way through the middle, runs into a brick wall that picks up another 4 or 5 yards.
Got across the 5-yard line. It looks like he's pumped up now. He smells the touchdown.
Brian Jones, Ricky Andrews on the stop. Tim Brown in there as well. 3 linebackers together. Stopping Wright Fair, but as you say, Wright Fair looks pumped up. He took a bit of a breather there in this third quarter, but he's back and firing on all cylinders now. Second down and goal from the 5. Pressure coming once again. Touchdown.
And I'll tell you what made that play, what made that touchdown was that they held up Brian Jones. 2 touchdowns for Hillman today, but Brian Jones, the middle linebacker, stunted to the left and got held up, and that gave Hillman a big hole on the right.
9 plays on the drive, very impressive stuff, and it's finished off by the big blocking back, Jay Hillman. He's there to open up the holes for Sean B. Wright Fair. He's done that job pretty well, but he's added a bonus. 2 touchdowns. You can't ask for much more than that. Caravata will attempt the extra point conversion. Once again, good job, but the kick goes wide. He missed it. The snap problem there. I think the holder managed to do a pretty good job of getting it down, but it looked like Caravata just snatched at that one.
The seesaw swings once more in favor of the Rhine Fire. That concluded the scoring in the third quarter. Fourth period action after the break.
You're watching.
And it's into the fourth quarter. We join the Rhine Fire, who after a timeout have decided to go for goal on a 4th down on the Claymores 1-yard line.
Gutsy call this.
And they've only got 10 seconds on the play clock because they took more than the minute they get for the timeout to discuss it. Toretta's really got to get going now. 3, 2, 1.
Sean Russell, the backup tight end, is in. Sean B. Wright Fair is stopped. He is stopped. James Williams was the guy that finally pushed him back. Tim Brown was in there as well. He came up about 6 inches short, and Alan Young had a piece of it as well. Huge play defensively.
And you know, if that's a big play, I didn't agree with the call in the first place, but leaving yourself so little time with this fast clock that you know is a fast clock is really just another one of those mistakes that you don't want to make.
Wright Fair never looked like he was going to get that. It was as if he never quite believed he would do it.
They couldn't get ready, Nick. He wasn't set to go at the point, and they couldn't get the drive from the linemen because they were in such a hurry to simply get the play off.
So the good news for the Claymores is their defense has held firm. The bad news, they got 99.5 yards to go. But they still trail by 3. 11-19 left in the ball game.
And Matt Blunden's back in the game at quarterback.
And a handoff, that's a dangerous one. 26, Marcus Thomas spun around and just avoided a safety. That was a very strange play in that situation.
Well, basically, it's what you do down there. You just want to give yourself a little bit of room, get out of the end zone, give yourself some room to throw.
Well, Marcus Thomas could feel the pass rush breathing down his neck there as he tried to plow his way up the middle for a couple of yards. He did well just to spin clear. It's 2nd and 9. And they look like they're coming after Blunden. Blunden hands off once again and just plows his way past the 6-yard line. That'll give him a bit of breathing room to perhaps go and throw the ball. Marcus Thomas picks up around 5 yards.
And this is a big 3rd down play for Scotland now. You really want to get a 1st down here. You want to establish a bit of a drive and give yourself some room if you do have to give the ball up.
So Matt Blunden back at the helm. Originally, Lee Williamson was going to play the 4th quarter. But this offense looked happier with Blunden at the controls. And this, a big play for the man from Kansas City. Gets a little pass off, finds Tim Barnett. Barnett is gang tackled. Gordon Bryant, the first man there, but Barnett did what what he had to do.
That's a possession play. Barnett's a possession receiver. He went right over the first down marker, turned around, and Blunden got the ball there. Sure hands by Tim Barnett.
So a couple of runs to buy themselves a little bit of space, and then a quick pass to Barnett, and the Claymores have the ball. That's the key as far as they're concerned. Galen Hall obviously wants to get it off of. First down, the Claymores hand off. Tyrone Johnson, nowhere to go. That hole was closed down, and he draws a crowd, and maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, nothing more.
And Stacey following its blocker and running into the brick wall. And again, we want to see the Claymores start to establish a varied offense. DeGraff and Reed on the one side, Barnett on the other, targets to throw to, establish the passing game again. They haven't done it really since the second quarter.
Clock continuing to run. No gain on the carry from Tyrone Johnson. Second down and 10. Scotland still deep. Rhine showing a 5-man front, but dropping back, coming through and getting away from the pressure. And that was a catch and a half. Tim Barnett, Greg Lang looked like he had a pretty good coverage on it, but Tim Barnett falling backwards.
It wasn't the best executed play, but at least they're going for it. It's a great catch by Barnett because he really is covered. Blunden gets the ball in there, but you've got really good coverage on him. There, the pass is thrown to the wrong side. He turns around into the coverage and makes the catch. And yes, indeed, it's a first down.
That's a heck of a catch from Tim Barnett. Heads up stuff there. His 5th catch of the day. That the biggest, certainly the most difficult to hand off, and they go up the middle, can't get anywhere. They were waiting for him there. Carl Dunbar, Mac Travis, Joe Sumalo was in there. Tyrone Johnson met them all.
Tyrone Johnson looking for the hole inside. There just isn't one there to slide off on, and the only way you're going to get through there is putting your head down straight ahead.
Mike Salmon, number 42, is at free safety now for the Rhine Fire. Second down and 10. They can't establish the run at the moment, but the pass is working for Matt Blunden. 5 DBs. Blunden with time, puts it up in the air. He's got his man, DeGraff and Reed with another first down. Matt Gay, in fact, it was Darrell Mitchell. Matt Gay made the hit, but Mitchell held on. And
good vision by Blunden because Mitchell was wide open, and he got the ball there up in the air where Mitchell could get it. Mitchell's going to be coming in off the left-hand side of your screen. Behind that, you saw the man cutting across the middle. That opened it up for Mitchell, who ran the banana pattern above him.
It's not been a high-scoring ball game, which we expected, but it's been a good, hard tussle. Wide open, good defense, offense in patches, good, entertaining football.
And a good sign for the league, too, because when you iron out these early season mistakes, you're going to get some really good ball.
I'm impressed with both these two teams. When they sharpen their acts up, they'll be really worth watching, as you say, when they iron out the wrinkles. First down, Matt Blunden, big and strong, puts one up in the air. That could be picked up. A flag goes down.
The flag's going to be for interference, but that pass was not a good one. It was thrown up for grabs, and there were 3 defenders coming over for it.
Andreas Motzkus was in there. Mike Salmon was the man who came up with the interception, but there are 2 flags down in the end zone.
And again, the ball wasn't thrown well. It was up
interference, defense, 15 yards to the previous spot, first down.
Not a
bad break for the Rhine Fire.
Now watch, he's got Stacey coming out of the backfield, and Stacey's gotten behind him and is looking for the ball, and he doesn't know the ball's there. And there was the contact, and you see the result, the ball was actually underthrown. He didn't really need to make the contact, but he didn't know that as he was chasing Stacey down.
They'll be looking for 6 at the end of this drive. First down, the clock continues to run, 7 minutes and counting. The handoff goes inside. Lorenzo Graham, or Arthur Bussey rather, made the tackle on Joe Mickles.
And they're just going to pound it down now and stay in front of the post. That fourth and goal down the other end becoming more and more crucial for the Rhine Fire.
Well, a field goal will level it up, but of course a touchdown would put a lot of pressure on the Fire, especially if Scotland were to convert the extra point. That would make it a 4-point game. Stacey goes in motion, second down and 8. Mike Salmon, the free safety, goes with him. Blunden's got a man open, Tim Barnett, touchdown, and the fans go
Tim Barnett made that with his pattern. He was just out there wide open. Blunden, I think, didn't realize that he would be so wide open. He tried to put a perfect pass in instead of rearing back and firing it, and he threw what really was a wounded duck.
Arden Krzyzewski gets ready to boot the extra point. This is an important point. And again it is through, so that makes it a 4-point ball game.
So the Scottish Claymores with their noses in front. Back to the action on the Fire's next drive. They have a 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line.
Jay Hillman in motion to the right. Toretta fires down the middle where there's some space for Sean Wright Fair to get stuck in, and he goes around 7 yards before Tim Brown stops him.
And he picked up the last 3 yards the hard way there. Good spinning move by Wright Fair.
Inside the final 5 minutes, but this an impressive response from the Rhine Fire so far. They've come out, they converted that big 3rd down, and they're still rolling.
Well, they've been able to move the ball pretty much throughout the game as long as they stick to that short passing attack and then occasionally strike long.
Into Scotland territory. He drops, it's batted away.
Michael Brandon knocked that one down. Big game from that defensive end.
Well, Mike Brandon coming up with the play there. Alan Young has been drawing the praise on the other defensive end position, but Brandon, he really is a big player. Drafted by the Colts and coming up with a big play when it was needed.
And now watch Brandon here. He gets the first pop. He thinks it's a run, and then he stops, realizes it's a pass, and he gets up there, 6'4" and extended.
3rd down and short yardage for the Fire. And they give the ball to the man with the safe hands, and he's unstoppable for 3 yards, Jay Hillman. Toretta with a lot of time. Deep drop, but runs straight into trouble. Alan Young was in there, but the real damage was done by Gerald Jeffcoat.
And Jeffcoat knows he's got to pick it up because Ridgely was out for the play, and pick it up he did. It was funny because Brian Jones, the middle linebacker, was literally instructing David Webb about what to do before that play started. Gerald Jeffcoat comes up big in the clutch.
2nd down and around 15 or 16 now after that sack from Jeffcoat. Toretta once again, deep drop pressure coming. He gets it away up the middle. Jocelyn Borgella broke that one up. Big play from the Haitian defensive back.
And contact at both ends. Good pressure on Toretta. Good contact from Borgella coming up. Borgella, born in Haiti, grew up in Florida and played his football there, but he's the first Haitian to ever play in the NFL.
With the Detroit Lions, as is Gino Toretta.
Now watch Toretta. He deals with the pressure now. He unloads the ball before he gets hit. And watch Borgella. Great timing. Reaches over, breaks up the pass.
Big 3rd down coming up here for the Rhine Fire. The fans getting into it. Urging on the Claymores. Pressure coming from Alan Young, but he steps up in the pocket, gets the pass away, and he's going long and broken up, was it? No, touchdown. Tyrone Pointer, number 42. Darrell Lewis had a chance at that, but Pointer just kept his eyes on the ball, and that has silenced this crowd.
And Galen Hall was going deep all the way. Toretta was coming up through the pocket, looking for Pointer going in the middle, and it was basically just a straight fly pattern by him.
Darrell Lewis there, thinking, well, how did that one get away? He had a chance to bat that one away. The extra point attempt from Julio Caravata. Again, it's picked up by Mike Salmon and batted down. And they have a chance at the 2 points. No, they don't.
I don't think Michael Brandon realized that, because he would have been able to get the deuce if he held on to the ball and carried it. If he'd caught it as an interception, not as a fumble recovery.
Another bad snap, and Mike Salmon just decided at the last minute to do something. A second missed extra point, so it's a 2-point ball game.
I think that was deliberate. I think Galen Hall was going for the 3. He wanted to get a field goal margin there. And Salmon, who's their emergency quarterback, remember, they only have 2.
We're underway. The squib kick, Ben Torriero getting a piece of that. The Harrogate Hawk. So these British players making a contribution. Big guy, very, very popular with his teammates here, Torriero, but this is strictly business. No celebrating for him in that situation. He knows that he's got to get his team back in the field goal range. But Torriero, someone we're going to see a lot of this season.
They're very high on him. Another Jay Hillman, Tom Rathman type. Just needs to learn a bit more about the game, really, but he's got that blocking power already. They're very confident about him, and they like him on the special team.
But a poor kick, well handled by Torriero, and it's taken the ball to the 46-yard line. With 3:25 left and a timeout and the 2-minute warning, there's a lot of time to go. They get Tim Barnett, who juggles with the ball and picks up 5. Tries to get out of bounds. Greg Lane came up and made the stop.
And remember, all they need to do is get down for a field goal. If they can establish a drive here, they don't need to worry about punching it in at the end. They just really have 3 minutes to use up and 2 points to get.
4 yards on the reception to Tim Barnett. The ball spotted exactly on the halfway line. Less than 3 minutes remaining. 1 timeout for Scotland. They're down by 2. A field goal would be enough.
But they've got an injured man on the field.
Scott Cooper coming into the game in a pressure situation. You want to know if these Scottish players are going to contribute. Scott Cooper would not be out there if he didn't have a job to do. I'll tell you something, Scott Cooper has got the temperament for this situation.
And it's just what you want. Good possession receiver, runs good patterns.
2nd down and 6. 2.5 minutes. Blunden goes left, and the ball bounces away from Tim Barnett.
And that's the first one he's had problems with. It was a softball, and that may have been what the trouble was. He was starting to move, and it just didn't get there to him. He was starting to turn and make his run at that point. But he was open. They had 3 wideouts. They ran them all on simple patterns, and Blunden had his choice of guys to throw to.
3rd down. The Scottish Claymores down by 2 with 2 minutes 30 remaining. Face a big 3rd down and 6. Blunden drops back, looks, his receivers are covered, but he gets a man open, and it's a 1st down. Tim Barnett, who made the earlier error, Greg Lane made the stop, but Barnett came up with a big one.
And protection was the key to that, because Blunden could look to all his receivers and then come back and take a second look at Barnett. And now watch the time he gets to throw. There's the pump fake. He looks the other way, and he's waiting for Barnett to come open, and when he comes open, he hits him. Great protection by that line.
Tim Barnett, the NFL veteran, 4 years with the Kansas City Chiefs. Had a couple of big seasons with the Chiefs. That's the 2-minute warning. It's the Rhine Fire leading the Claymores by 2. And Matt Blunden, number 14, has had a pretty good afternoon, as you can see, comparing those 2 quarterbacks. Head coach Jim Kreiner said he couldn't tell much between them at all, but those numbers do show a difference.
Well, you've got a bit more distance from Blunden as well as a bit more accuracy. And the funny part is, in this quarter, the wet ball has been really bothering him, and he hasn't had the zip on it that he did in the 2nd quarter.
1st down, 2 minutes left. They have 1 tight end. A draw play up the middle doesn't fool anybody. 3 or 4 tough yards for Siran Stacy. Douglas was in on the tackle. Donald Douglas, number 39. Mac Travis was in there as well. Doug Williams, you see there, sending the plays in via the headset.
And that was a nice time to try a draw. Good call by Doug Williams there, because they're expecting now that they've got the momentum going on, the rhythm going on their passing attack, that he's going to keep up with it.
But the clock continuing to run. It's down to 1:37. 2nd down and 8. Blunden fakes the handoff this time to Marcus Thomas and gets his man, but it's broken up. Big defensive play. He was looking for Alan de Graffenried. Greg Lane read it well. Big play.
And the ball was right there for de Graffenried, but it was Lane's hit that jarred the ball loose. It was a good play. The play fake really did freeze the defense for a couple of seconds, and Blunden delivered that one with more authority, but Greg Lane, nice hit.
3rd down and 8. If they don't get it here, they will go for it on 4th down. A flag.
And I think it's motion. Motion, left tackle,
although the clock has reset.
Claymores.
The clock has reset itself, Mike. We'll have to see. There's 2 flags down. That's Hesham Ismail, the left tackle from Florida. You called it, Mike. And the clock rolling already.
They've got 13 to go now, 3rd and 13 for a first down, and really to get into field goal range, you're talking about making most of that 13.
And the rest, I think, in conditions like this with the snap unpredictable, they're going to be looking for 20, 25 yards out of this. Blunden has his man to Grafenried, but broken up superbly. Vaughan Bryant, the other cornerback, came in, and that's going to make it very interesting for the Scottish Claymores. They have a 4th down and 13, and they have to go for it. 1:15 left. They trail by 2.
And that was a tough one, too, because the play was there again, but the defensive backs, knowing that they wanted that 13, were laying back right about at that spot.
We saw Doug Williams there on the sidelines just going out a shot. He wasn't happy with something. He's still gesticulating to the officials. Didn't like that call.
I think he thought the hit was in there a little bit before the ball got there.
This is the one. This is the ball game for the Claymores. The crowd giving their support. Blunden steps up, looks, he's got a man, it's high, it's Alan de Grafenried, he's come up with it. That is the play of the game so far. Vaughan Bryant, Greg Lane was there, but de Grafenried came down with it when he had to.
And a great clutch catch by de Grafenried, and a great look by Matt Blunden, because he first looked at Barnett, who was open, but Barnett was short of the first down.
Clock is still running here, Mike, down to 52 and still running.
Now watch de Grafenried. He drives the defensive back, good stop, and now that's a great catch because the defensive back's right over his arms as he catches
Blunden
it.
straight away goes again at the pass incomplete, so that will at least stop the clock. Greg Lane was there all over Tim Barnett. Vaughan Bryant was there too.
40 seconds to go, and as I said, on that play, Barnett on the play before had been open, but Blunden looked and realized he was short of the first down, so he took a second look at de Grafenried and got the ball in there. A great play on both ends.
From here, it's a 42-yard field goal. I don't think they're going to go for that. They've got to get it another 10 yards at least.
Well, they've got at least 3 plays in which they can do that.
But time a factor. They have 1 timeout, 40 seconds left. Scotland players telling the fans to be quiet. Blunden gets it off. He finds Marcus Thomas, who picks up around 4 of those yards. Mike Salmon makes the tackle, and as you say, Mike, they have to stop the clock, and they have with 35 seconds left. The ball at the 20. 37-yard field goal from here. 3rd down. Will they trust it to Arden Krzyzewski, or will they go for a bit more? Matt Blunden
he's waiting.
rolls out.
He's still got
looking for
time.
Barnett. And it's incomplete. And it stops the clock at 24 seconds. And that brings up 4th down.
I think we're going to see the field goal here.
It's going to be around 37, if indeed it is the field goal. Krzyzewski, number 1, comes out to kick what would be a game-winning field goal, and this has been a bad day for kickers with these conditions.
And if any of this 10,000 crowd were undecided about football, an exciting game, what do you think they're thinking now?
This is the way to watch it. The kick is up. It's got the legs. It's got the legs. It's wide left. It's wide left. The Fire win the ball game. And it's gone very quiet here in Murrayfield. The fans were on their feet, and it just drifted wide to the left. With 8 seconds left on the clock ticking, that's it. This one is over. But what a thriller for 2 new teams. They've served up a feast this afternoon.
A close defeat for the Claymores, but only just as the game went right to the wire. But that's what the World League of American Football is all about.